Hello everyone, my name is Timothy Lee Grant. Today is a Friday afternoon, and so you know what that means. We're going to be working on our personal project, trying to move forward. So keep going, keep going, keep going. All right, let's minimize myself here and start the project. So where we were last time, I remember I was able to successfully add something to the database. So we actually have two databases in this project. We have a MongoDB database and a Postgres database. So the front end microservice uses that Postgres, and that's what we were able to successfully communicate with and interact with and put data in. And specifically, we were putting in the username and password of what the user supplied to us. Okay? And the other thing to note is that this database, this Postgres database, is containerized. So it's not running on my local Mac. It is running on the actual container. So when I do like Docker compose up, brings all that up, and we can see here my front end, I say it depends on this Postgres service, which is right here. I kind of outline this image and all of the necessary items in this service. I then had to go into Postgres through the terminal. I needed to create the table of users and kind of set up that schema, right? To which my front end microservice will actually communicate with and add items to according to that schema. Okay, so what do we want to do today? Next steps are we have this front end, okay? We have this front end here, and we're not logged in. Okay, that makes sense. So are we running this? Okay, let me do Docker compose up, and let's just see what goes on. Should be happy. I think it's saying that we're already up. So let's see. Try to access this. I need to go into specifically the login page, right? And then I can put my username here, and I can put my password kind of like this, okay? And then if I do this login, it's going to simply select or send this over to the endpoint, which is register, and it's going to put that data in the database, which this isn't exactly what we want, right? Like this should be create new account, not login. So we need to add separate pages. We need a login and we need a create new account. So let's kind of go through that and get that working. Okay. So what do I want to do? That means I need another page, right? I need to come, not roots, we need, where is it? Views. Here we go. And I want to create a new file. And I'm going to call this create user, or maybe login. Do I want this one to remain the login and I change its functionality on the back end, or do I want to just like change this to say create password? Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna copy and paste actually, so it doesn't matter at all. I'm gonna call this login.ejs. Okay. And now what I need to do is, I called this login page. I should have. Okay, we are going to rename you actually then. you are now going to be create user. Create account.egs. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to come into here, copy all of that. Nope, not from the home page. We want the login page. So copy all that. And we're going to paste it in here. Okay, so I also want to change a couple things. So I want to change the part where I send to the register. It's a post to login, no authentication. Okay, so I don't want this anymore. Let me... Where was I doing this one? Okay, let me... Login page. To add, no, this is not what we want. Where, I'm trying to find how I hit that API endpoint. So somehow I hit this API endpoint. I don't know where actually I hit it. And then I did these commands, and that was in the last video. So now the question is, okay, obviously I hit this endpoint, but where exactly was I hitting that endpoint? Here's the login, no authentication. Which we have here. Well, it's looking like it hits that no authentication one, which doesn't quite make sense. Okay, and it says my data is this. Is that what we're expecting? My data is this. Okay, yes. Oh, hold on. Request user password here. So I create this. I'm not doing any redirects. Password is this. Username is this. I store this in request session user. Okay. And then I print out the password. Okay. Oh, I remember what was going on. Oh, okay. I remember that I put data in the in the database through this register endpoint. But I did it through Swagger. That's how. That's where I hit it. Okay, no wonder I was so confused. So now, actually, what we should be able to do is, now that we have our session ID, we should actually now even be able to go into the home page. So let's try to go into the home page and see if we get blocked. And there it is. There we go. We're in. Okay, so what I want to do is I don't want to do this login, no authentication anymore. I want just login. Okay. So now I need to come Oh, this is create an account. Okay, I don't want login then. I want this to say register. Register, right? And this one is also going to register an account. Okay? So we have this register which will hit, close that, hit this endpoint, and we have the request and response. Okay. And that should work. We tried it out using Swagger in the last video, so that should. We'll still have to test it, but hopefully everything is good. So we have this. We're creating a username. We're creating a password, and then I'm just gonna say register. Register. Okay. And then yeah, now we'll have to redirect. Once we create the account, we might want to redirect them, right? To the home page. Makes sense. Okay. So once we do that, it's up here. So once we do that, what do we want to do? Oh, hold on. I need to go, hold on. I will be back. Alright, so I am back, and let me come make myself a little bit smaller again and start off where we were. So, trying to remember where we were. There was this page that we're loading, the EJS file, right? And we are going to map it to this register, which is right here, and that will insert into the database based off of the body of the request, okay? And then we're going to redirect to the home page once they've registered an account. Okay, that seems about right. Let's now go and look at this login page. So I now no longer want to say login no authentication. We want login, just login, right? And that's going to have authentication. Okay, so here's register, here is login. So this is a GET request. We want post login. Do we already have one? We might. Okay, post login. All right, I think actually this was, let's see. Let's comment all this out, right? Okay. So now let's do a post login up here. So router.post, and then we're going to have it to login. All right. And then we have our request response, which is mapped to our function. So what do we want to do? We should probably kind of follow that architecture down here where we have the try and then catch. Make sure that's try, catch, error. Okay, I'm just gonna go like that. All right. Catch, error. Okay. There we go. And we don't want to say that. We want to say it like this? I can't remember the syntax. Let's see. Error in login route. Okay. Something like that. Now, we want to do a try. So, what are we doing in this situation? We want to take in this request body. So I want to take that in, right? And I'm gonna have a how can I grab both? It's like the curly brackets or something. Const curly bracket and then those two. Okay. Const curly bracket user name password is going to be equal to request.body. Okay. Is that the way I did it up here? Okay, so it should work. Now, if I encrypt the same way, is it going to give me the same result? I don't know. Now that we need a sync. All right. Come on. And what is wrong with you now? Here we go. All right, so for the same raw password, does it give the same hash each time? Okay. So what I mean, like, let's say that my password is password or password123. So I type that in, password123, and then I get some hashed output, okay? And then that's what I store into the database, okay? Now, if the user logs in and they provide a password, and let's say it's password245, okay? It should not be the same as the hash, right? So it shouldn't match what's in the database. But if they do password123, I put it through this same hashing function, it should map to the same thing that I stored in my database, right? I think so. But I'm just doing a little note there to say like, I'm not quite sure, so. Okay, so I do this, and now I want to do a query on my database, right? So let's go pool.query. Okay, so it's asynchronous. Await pool.query. And what do we want to query? Then we just put the SQL language in. Okay. So, good thing I don't know SQL language. All right, so that's obviously a question for Mr. Copilot. I am wanting to get an entry of in my SQL or Postgres database with the user name and password. Okay. I'm going to say here is how I stored the password. Now I am trying to do the opposite, reverse operation of when the user gives me their username and password, I can check the database and verify. Okay. And then come down to here and I can copy this. Okay. All right, so log in, we get this. All right, so select password hash from users where username equals $1. Okay, so let's kind of look up here. We have $1 and $2. So that kind of indicates that that's like the first element in here and second element in there, the 1 and 2, okay? Now, why do we have this parentheses and then why are there parentheses there and dollar signs? So I'm seeing parentheses here and here, but I don't see why we do one or the other. So select password hash, no parentheses, from users where username equals username, okay? So that's the thing that we need to do. So let me try to write it without looking again. Okay. So what did we want to do? We wanted to select users. Okay, so we say the table, or no, select username, because don't we want to get the row or column? I can't remember. Obviously I need to brush up on SQL. I don't know, I can't remember. Select password hash. Why are we selecting password hash? So we're selecting the password. From users where username is equal to $1, and then outside of here we had this bracket and I said username, like this, right? Okay. Okay, if we check result of this, okay, so if result dot rows dot length is equal to 0, then they didn't get the correct password. So return response dot status 401, okay, dot send, and then invalid username or password. Okay. Now what we can do is we assume that they are the correct person. Const stored hash is result rows not sure what I'm doing here yet. Okay, why? What does this do? I don't know yet. Okay. So I don't think this is valid. I think that this is false. Okay. I think that's what it's essentially telling me, is that we need to do this compare thing. Compare the provided password with the stored stored what? Like, okay. I'm trying to get my sock off. There we go. But what's the difference between doing it like this compare right there and just doing another hash, right? Like, that doesn't make much sense. Okay, so the main thing that I need to enforce my knowledge on is this actually right here, because I'm just like, SQL queries and setting up databases and schemas, all of that is like pretty important, especially for back-end software engineering, and I don't know any of it. I've been very much focused on JavaScript, Java, Spring Boot, how that operates, routing, Docker, like REST APIs, how to set up the networks between all of those containers. I've been focused on kind of that aspect, and I have not looked too much on SQL, and I kind of tricked myself into having a false sense of security when I was working with the MongoDB database, because it was like, oh, this is so easy. You just have these documents and collections, and you just put it in the way you want. But now it's like, okay, well, I know SQL has like these very specific ways of storing data, of accessing data, of like this one, select star from blank with something, limit something. I know that it has that format, and I also know that they have those like ERDs or something like that, where you like have to draw all of your schema. Yeah. So I know that there's a big world out there of that, but I mean, I'm not there yet. But we're gonna go and learn more about that, obviously. Okay, so I just got that away. So now I'm doing this compare. Okay, so password, and so we can put in two values. So stored hash. Okay, so that is my result, which is what? The query. And rows of 0. How does it know that it's... Oh, okay, just the first parameter. Okay. And then we say password hash. Okay. Sure. So if is match, then what do we want to do? Response.send login successful. Okay, so that's not actually what we want to do. I think what we want to do is we want to change the users. Oh, okay, that's better. I want to change the user's session data, right? Okay. So is user kind of like a... Can I just go like this? What? Dot is logged in is equal to true. Can I just go like that? And then response dot redirect to the home page, kind of like that. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know if that's actually gonna work. And then we can do else. They like this styling format. Else. Okay. Response dot status 401. Okay. Dot send incorrect username or password. Okay. And then otherwise we had an error. Oh, and I need those funny looking ones, like this. Okay. Ah, there we go. Response.status 500 send. Okay. So looking kind of okay. So if I go to login, I want to be greeted by the login page here, right? And then I do this and hopefully it will work. Okay. So let me go to my login. Okay. So I'm gonna come here and then I'm gonna come here and just type random things. Okay. And then I'm gonna press login and we should see invalid username or password. Okay. That's, oh, right. I didn't restart my thing. Okay. Hold up. All right, so I need to bring it back up. So Docker compose up and start everything back up. Let's see. Log in. Alright, and it says login now, see? So I'm gonna just come here, type something random, okay. Now your data is this. That's not what we were hoping to see. Okay. So I went to login, I got login page. So login.ejs is here, right? Action goes to login. Okay. So it should go to the post login. Which is here. Do this. Not print my data. But why is it sending me here? What is this one? Register. Login. Do I need to do the whatever build or whatever? Let me see. Like this, and then do I need to do that? Sure, whatever. Invalid username or password. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, what I want to do is I want to create an account, okay? So I need to go to the create account. What was it called? Register or something? Yeah. So I have to hit this through Swagger, but whatever. We'll do that. That's fine. And I'm gonna say just test 1, 2, 3, and then password 1, 2, 3. Okay. So let's do execute for this, and we get 400. Oh, that sucks. Why? Duplicate key value. Okay. So does that mean test 1, 2, 3 is a, let's try to go into our, where is it? Let's try to go into our login, right? and just do that, like test 1 2 3 and then password 1 2 3. Okay. Error, login failed. So we did redirect here. It didn't say incorrect password. Oh, I think I know what's going on. We come to our home, and then I'm checking session users. I want to now check is logged in, kind of like this. And then if they're logged in, I want to render it. Otherwise, I want to say not logged in. Yeah, that's what I want to do. So let's do this again. Okay, same thing with the build. Okay, so I want to come in here and say login, okay? Test 1 2 3 password 1 2 3, okay? And then it logs us in. There we go. We got it. Okay, we now have a method of registering our username and password. We also have a method by which we can log in and get to our homepage. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay, so what else do I need? I need I come here, local host, I think it was port 3000, and login, right? So we need something. What happens if I click that? Oh, that's not good. Oh, I think it's because I've already stored like the cookies, so it's the same session. But anyways, so that makes sense, actually. But this, I was about to say I was going to make another button down here that just says like register, because normally you come to the login, right? And then if you're in the login, you need some way to go to the register page. So we need to come here, and that should give us the register page. But I think I can kind of just hijack this button right there. So in the login, there's something that says go back home. Go to home. Okay, so it's this. I don't want it to come here to the home. I want actually to go to I want it to come to this create account EJS. Right. Okay, so what will render create an account? We don't have one yet, right? Router.get register, okay? Request, response, this, okay? And now I just want to do response dot render, okay? And I want to render that create an account EGS. Create an account, okay? Alright, so I want to do a GET request here. So for the login, I want register. I want to register. So instead of back home, I want to say for an account. Register for an account. Okay? And then it will load this one. And then this should post. Okay. Let's see what happens. Okay. Same thing. So if I reload this, it should say register for an account. And if I go like this and type something here, I should try to log in and it says invalid username or password. That's correct. I come here and register for an account. I'm going to do test 5678 and password 5678. Okay, register, not now, so that's not accurate, right? Yeah, it is actually. I see why it's doing that. It's not supposed to do this, but I see why it's doing this. So we post register, we do this, and then we try to redirect to the home page, but we had never set login. And because they just provided a password, we actually do need to just set that password. But I kind of want to check something. So instead, let me go back to login, right? And now I want to do test. What was it? 5678 and password 5678. Okay, and log in, and we're in. Okay, so it did successfully store the data into our Postgres database from the register account webpage. And it went through the register or the post, where is it? The post register route. It did this query to insert the username, and then we were able to log in using that exact same thing. So just one like minor thing, which is if the user already just created an account, we can log them in. So is it request or response? Response? No, request dot body dot is logged in is equal to true. Okay. Okay, so there we go. Let's save our work, and it is 1 a.m. in the morning. So I think that is where I'm gonna leave it off. So let's go get status, see where we are, add all of those new items. Okay. Commit, added front end pages for creating an account and for logging in. It is now operational for logging in the user by verifying their username and password provided and comparing it to the PostgreSQL database entry. Okay. Okay. Good. Cool. Well, that concludes today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to continue watching these videos and continue along the journey with this project, subscribe. That would be awesome. I'd love to have you around. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the day. My name is Timothy Lee Grant, and I'll see you guys very soon.